Welcome to the Nimbus Consulting Group's presentation on the new State Mandate Reimbursement Program called Crime Statistic Reports for the Department of Justice. This mandate requires that the local government entity responsible for the investigation and prosecution of a homicide case to provide the Department of Justice demographic information about the victim and the persons charged with the crime. Information required by the DOJ on hate crimes, and to support all domestic violence-related calls for assistance with a written report. In addition, it requires the District Attorney's Department to submit annually a report on or before June 30th every year to the Attorney General. This report should consist of profiles by race, age, gender, and ethnicity for any persons charged with a felony or misdemeanor under Penal Code 12025, which is carrying a concealed firearm, or Penal Code 12031, carrying a loaded firearm in a public place. This mandate has four primary parts: the DOJ reporting for homicide reports, domestic violence-related calls for assistance, the actual written report, the DOJ reporting for hate crime reports, and the District Attorney's reporting for firearm reports. This mandate goes back to fiscal year 2001-2002. Please note, hate crime reports begins January 1st of 2005. Please use this chart when double-checking the penal codes as you collect your data. All of the new claims are due to the State Controller's Office no later than April 6, 2011. Should you fail to meet the April 6 deadline, you will have a 1-year grace period, but you will assume a 10% late penalty. Eligible claimants include cities and counties. The departments that may be impacted are police, sheriff, and the District Attorney's Office. There is some one-time reimbursable activities here. To revise existing policies and procedures to reflect ongoing activities regarding the reporting of hate crimes and demographic information required by the various penal codes listed here, as well as the penal codes for the Department of Justice and the Attorney General. Also, to revise existing policies and procedures to reflect the ongoing activities regarding the requirements to support all domestic violence-related calls with a written incident report. Again, please make note of the penal codes that are involved in these activities. It is only to revise the policy to initiate the changes due to those penal codes that is eligible. Okay, let's move on to the ongoing activities. We're going to start with what's actually reimbursable regarding the homicide reports. We should note right off the bat that reimbursement is not eligible to review and edit these reports. What is eligible is for the city or county responsible for the investigation and prosecution of the homicide case to provide the California Department of Justice on a form that's distributed by the California DOJ with the demographic information about the homicide victim and the persons charged with the crime of homicide. This would include the victim's and person's age, gender, race, and ethnic background. So you may spend some time to extract the information from existing local records. You have to report it monthly to the DOJ. And you can either report it electronically via the electronic crime and arrest reporting systems, or manually by submitting the DOJ form BCIA 15, which is a supplemental homicide report, or other forms distributed in accordance with the Penal Code section 13014 by the DOJ. Also, if you're asked to verify information contained in the report, or provide an additional explanation about the report when specifically requested by the DOJ, that time is also eligible. This mandate part is actually reimbursable back to fiscal year 2001-2002 through 2009-2010. Alright, our next ongoing activity deals with hate crime reports. Again, we're going to note here that reimbursement is not eligible to review and edit every report, but what is eligible are for the law enforcement agencies to report to the DOJ in a manner to be prescribed by the Attorney General any information that may be required relative to hate crimes. You may have to extract the information from your existing law enforcement records in order to report it to the DOJ. That time would be eligible. Also, you need to report to the DOJ on an annual and monthly basis. That information, you can either report it electronically via the Hate Crime Analysis Tracking and Evaluation System. You can report it manually by submitting the agency crime report or any other manner prescribed by the Attorney General. Also, if you're asked to verify information contained in the report or provide any additional explanation about the report when specifically requested by the DOJ, that time is also reimbursable. Now, this mandate portion goes back to January 1st of 2005 through fiscal year 2009-10. So you will want to make sure you look at that chart that was on an earlier slide to verify that you are collecting data for the appropriate fiscal year. Okay, our next ongoing activity deals with the domestic violence related calls for assistance with a written incident report. Penal Code 13730 requires local law enforcement agencies to develop a system for recording all domestic violence related calls for assistance. So this activity is a little bit different than the other two that we just discussed, in that the actual time to write the incident report, review, and edit the report is actually reimbursable. When claiming this activity, you'll want to describe the process to write the report and the review and edit by listing out the number of officers and exactly what the procedure is. You may have multiple people involved here, so you do want to document it appropriately. This mandate will go back fiscal year 01-02 for this activity, so you may consider doing a time study to get your average time to write those incident reports, to review and also edit the report. You will also want to make sure that you put something to show the number of reports being written, so make sure that your documentation is there. Our last ongoing activity is very specific to the District Attorney's Department. It deals with firearm reports. Once again, we're going to note that reimbursement is not eligible to review and edit these reports. The eligible time period for this activity is much less as well. It begins July 1st, 2001 and ends December 31st of 2004. For the District Attorney to submit annually a report on or before June 30th to the Attorney General consisting of profiles by race, age, gender, and ethnicity for any persons charged with a felony or misdemeanor under Penal Code 12025, which is carrying a concealed firearm, or Penal Code 12031, which is carrying a loaded firearm in a public place, and any other offense charged in the same complaint, indictment, or information. Once again, you may have to go and extract the information from the existing law enforcement records. For the report, you're going to report to the Attorney General on Form CJSC4 or in another manner prescribed by the Attorney General. This concludes our presentation on crime statistic reports for the DOJ. If you have questions or need more information, please contact us at info@nimbusconsultinggroup.com or call us at the number listed on the screen.